Good afternoon and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. It's embellishment time again. This is the weekly swap again, and this one is going to be for Victory Garden. And I did two different ones. I'm going to show them both to you, but we're actually going to work through this one today. I like this one. I may do two groups, but I really liked this one and it was fun to do. So I'm going to, let me talk through this one first. This one, all in the world I did was just stamp and color, but it's cute and I like it. I actually have, I think, a stamp of like this that I could stamp and cut and put on top of it and give a little dimension or something. But I mean, I think they're cute and I like them. These, if you struggle with stamping, you ought to try some of these stamps. You do them with your Misty and you can restamp them, but these are just absolutely top quality stamps. And I've gotten stamps at Dollar Tree for $1.25 that are great, but her stamps are just so unique. It's called Stamps by Judith and Heather, and I think that's the mom and daughter, but it's www.stampsbyjudith.com. But they are just absolutely quality stamps. I mean, when you stamp them, you know you're going to get a good stamp. And they're the red, but they do stick to your Misty. Or you could put them on a wooden block or whatever you wanted to do, but or a clear block, whatever. But I always do mine in my Misty. That way, if I need to go back and restamp them, I can. But I have several of her stamps, and they're just so good. So anyway, just kind of a shout out for her. I've bought several of her stamps. And then I just used my Spectrum Noir markers, and that's how I did that. Like I said, I may do two groups for the Victory Garden. I don't know. But the one I'm going to work through with you today is going to be this one. I used this, I think it's Spellbind. Yes, this is a Spellbinders 3D embossing folder, and it's a big one. You can see I think it's 6x8 or something like that, where a lot of them are just kind of card size. This is a big one, and it has some big flowers on it. I don't even know what kind of flowers those are. I'm not a flower aficionado, but they're really pretty. And so what I decided to do was to emboss. I cut panels this size, and these are, I believe, 3 by 4 1/4. So these are 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, so that I could have 1/8 of an inch all the way around, because I wanted to frame them. And then I'm going to set that frame over here for a minute. And then I put these in my embossing folder and placed it so that that one of those main flowers with some stems would be on this little panel. Then I inked them with white paint or ink, and this is a pigment ink. This, I've told you this before, this stamp pad is probably 25 years old, and I'm still using it. I've never re-inked it, nothing. It is absolutely amazing. And so the first thing I did, and I'll show you, is I put my ink on there, and then I'm going to actually emboss with you today, heat emboss with you today. I don't think I've ever done that on a embellishment before. So the first thing I want to do is, I had already rounded my corners on the frame. So this is a We Are Memory Keepers, and I love this one. It has 3 different size corner rounders, and I'm using the largest one on this one. And I'm just going to go ahead and round the corners with the same one that I used for my frame. I love this corner rounder. It's like the best one I've ever had. So get that done. Now we actually have our little panel ready. Now, you can use a dauber if you want, and I did at first, but then I went back and started. This is just a little like cheap makeup brush. You can get them at Dollar Tree or Walmart or whatever. I decided that I liked it better because I could control it a little better. I will brush off where I get embossing powder that I don't want, but I just liked it because I could control it a little better. So we're just going to start putting our ink on here, and you can, I think you can really see how deep that embosses. And if you have trouble with 3D, you just run it through your Big Shot or whatever you use to die cut, and you just find the right sandwich. But this one really embosses deeply. And so I'm just taking my little makeup brush, and I'm just going to hit, especially where it's high, all over. And I'm going to do the flower first. I'm not going to try to do the whole thing at one time. And where I get it, where I don't want it, I'm just going to brush it off with a little paintbrush. So let's just hit it in the high spots. While I'm actually doing this, I'm going to go ahead and do the twist if I can, because I have to watch this really closely to do it. The twist today comes from Proverbs 15:4, and it says, "Kind words bring life, but cruel words crush the spirit." That is just, I have to remind myself of that. The older I get, sometimes my filter's not as good as it used to be. I used to be really, really kind and would watch my tongue. And it seems like as I've gotten older, I kind of have lost a little bit of that filter, and that is certainly nothing to brag about. So I need to remind myself of this kind of on a regular basis, that cruel words, there's just never any time in Scripture that we see Jesus using cruel words, and that's our example. So cruel words crush the spirit, but kind words bring life. One version even says the tree of life. So blessing that just is immeasurable is what that's saying, that kind words can just bring blessings that are just immeasurable. And so I thought to myself, kind words can heal a broken heart. They can heal a relationship. They can, help someone who's feeling worthless take on worth and build their esteem. They can make someone who's feeling down in the dumps feel happy and appreciated. There's so much that kind words can do. And yet, on the flip side of that, cruel words crush the spirit. Cruel words destroy relationships. Cruel words, bring people down, even to the point of harming themselves at times. And so, as our example, we should never, ever have cruel words. We should talk to other people the way we want them to talk to us. And I don't like being barked at or ugly things said to me. And so as a result, we should talk to others the way we want to be spoken to. So kind words bring life, but cruel words crush the spirit. Okay, let's see what that does. And I don't want this solid, as you can see. I'm just hitting the high places on this embossing so that that's where our embossing powder will stick. And this is some kind of neat embossing powder. It's old. I've had it a long time, but it is crackle. So it's not going to be smooth. I actually started doing it with I think it's called, I'll have to look in a minute, but it's like a glittery one is what I started with. And then I thought, I'm just going to try white. And that's what I really liked. So before I actually put my heat gun on it, I'm going to use my brush and see if there are any places that I want cleaned off. And there are a few. When you're trying to just hit those high spots, it's easy to get at places that you don't want it. So I'm going to clean it just a little each time. And then get our heat gun, and I apologize for the noise, but it has to be. Whoops, I just hit my lamp with my heat gun. Okay, so I was kind of light-handed right down here, so I think I'm actually going to go back and add a little to that. I'm going to hit these leaves down here just a little bit. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can emboss one section and then another section and actually go back and redo. If you're very careful with your heat, you can go back over things. But I just want to play on these highly embossed areas that are raised from that 3D embossing folder. It takes a minute to do it, but I think it made a really pretty embellishment. Now I got a little wild right there, so I'm going to have to brush that off before I put my heat gun on it. That's one of the good things about that it doesn't stick. And this pigment ink, you can do quite a bit. Some inks dry quickly. You know, depending on what kind of ink you're using. There is embossing ink that's like just almost like a glue. And then there's, but you can use just anything to emboss. And as long as it doesn't dry too quickly, you can use any ink. And a pigment ink dries slower than other inks. And so a pigment ink is a good one to emboss with for that reason. And see, I left a little open space on that leaf. I'm having trouble seeing this one. There, I can see it better that way. Just trying to get some ink. See, I messed up out there and I got off of the leaf a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about it because I'll clean that. I'm trying to hurry for the video. I'll clean that with my brush before we put the heat gun on it. I'm not doing the stems. I didn't want to push my luck with the stems. I think this may be the last leaf. Just hitting some places that I want to. Okay, I think that may be it. All right. Sprinkling it on there good and thick so it'll cover good. Gonna move it around a little. And then tap it. And then I'm going to use my brush and just get off anything that I don't want. Really, we did pretty good considering how fast we were doing it. I did the others a little slower than this, so they weren't quite as messy, but I'm getting so excited. We leave on our cruise in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow. We still have to get our hotel in Rome and our hotel in Barcelona. That's the big thing we have left to do. We have our transportation to the airport done. We've registered, we've done all the registrations that we have to do. It's getting close. I'm starting to think clothes. I've been so busy, I haven't really allowed myself to do that. I'm trying to finish up my semester with my college students that I supervise their internships, and I'm trying to finish that up, get a bunch of videos done for this, get my videos. By the way, while I'm finishing this up, I'll put this in the link below, but I do a Bible study video if you are interested in anything like that, and I do one every week. I teach an adult Bible study at our church, and so I video it every week, and I have a channel for that. If you're interested, I'll put it in a link below, as well as the link for this swap will be below with all the people that are participating in it from Ginger's Corner. So a lot of viewing options below. Okay, I think that's got this cleaned up about as good as I'm going to do it. I think that looks pretty good. So let's emboss one more time. Let you hear the noise again. Okay. I think that's it. And I don't know, I just thought that was kind of neat looking. I haven't embossed, I don't know if I've ever embossed, maybe I have, on an embellishment before. I don't remember for sure. So, okay, let me clean up this and then we'll finish putting it together. Don't want to waste any of my embossing powder. This powder is very unique. I don't even know where I got it, but it is a crackle, and I've got, I don't know, 2 or 3 different colors maybe in it. And so it's kind of unique. Okay, let's see if I have my little wipey to get any extra off of there. Okay, so it's good to work with now. And I need some glue. My glue was stopped up and I haven't done anything to unstop it. I left it open. I've gotten good at that lately. Don't know why I suddenly decide to leave my glue open. Let's see if I've got 2 in here. Let's see if this one works. Or if I left it open too. No, I think it's just nearly empty. There we go. Plenty of glue in it. Plenty of glue. So I don't know if this qualifies as Victory Garden, because when I really thought Victory Garden, I thought vegetables and, you know, things like that, which we had one back in 2020, you know, COVID. We did a huge garden, a family garden at my son's house. And I've got pictures actually to scrap, and when I get my embellishments, I may use some of them to scrap those pictures. You know what? I meant to do the edges of this just a little. Don't need to, I'm probably off camera here. Don't need to do them much, but I wanted just a tiny little frame around that with the white. Gotta hurry because this glue dries pretty fast. Okay. And then just try to get it somewhat even on our little frame. Okay, now it's a little crooked, but that may be how it is. No, it's moving, thank goodness. All right, so there we have it. There is our victory garden. We embossed a little bit, and I don't know, I just kind of thought that white, and especially the kind of crackling look, just really made it. See if I can get a little more light on that for you. My lighting has been not so good lately. So that is an up close. I actually did one, like I said, here it is. I'll show it to you. That had and it's pretty. I didn't go ahead and do the leaves, and it's really pretty. I love it, but it just wasn't the look I was going for. I wanted more of this lacy look. And that other one was done with bridal tinsel, where this is done with that white crackle. And I liked it. And I had a couple of different colors. I didn't have enough paper to do them all in the exact same color. So I do have a couple of different colors. But anyway, I hope you have a blessed day and be a blessing to someone else. Thanks for joining me today. If you liked this, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't already. It just helps us grow our channel. I appreciate you. I love it that you drop by and spend time with me. Have a blessed day.